serve me and be rewarded, don't obey me and burn for eternity. Kind of plays up the fears. Not exactly a very nice attitude.
Yeah, the Surgeon General kind of plays on people's fear, doesn't he? That wicked Surgeon General putting that warning on cigarette packages that smoking can lead to lung cancer.
Yeah, but they have evidence.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can promise you, there's more than enough evidence that Jesus Christ is reliable.
Could you name some?
Sure. He lived a sinless life, the type of life I've tried to live and have repeatedly failed, but I've tried.
That's hearsay, not evidence.
No, it's not hearsay. People observed how he lived. In John chapter 8, Jesus could look into the faces of his enemies and ask them, which one of you can prove me guilty of sin? His enemies were silent. John, who lived with Christ for 3 years intimately, could write about Jesus in 1 John, in him is no sin. So the evidence is the guy didn't sin. Obviously, we can't check his thought life out. That's pretty impossible. But the way he lived his life before people who were skeptical was, he didn't sin. His enemies could not nail him with a sin. But the question is, what does the evidence point to? Does the evidence point to Christ being a false prophet? Christ could have been a false prophet. But read about how he lived, what he taught, how he died, how he rose from the dead, and then you come to your own conclusion. Christ the false prophet, or Christ, God in human form as he claimed?
Did the Mishnah state that he rose from the dead?
No.
So another conflicting point. A pretty critical one, too.
Sure is. So now you've got to study very carefully the eyewitness accounts that indeed we saw him risen from the dead. You better study that very carefully.
Okay, so rather than say he did rise from the dead, he was reported from one source having risen from the dead.
Well, after you study the evidence, obviously you're going to come to a conclusion. And after I've studied the evidence, I think the conclusion is crystal clear. Jesus really died on a cross, and Jesus really rose from the dead.
According to one source.
Now, according to several different sources. In 1 Corinthians chapter 15, Paul writes, Christ rose from the dead and appeared to over 500 people, most of whom are still living, who saw Christ risen from the dead. That's an awful lot of people who saw him risen from the dead. Over 500.